a quiet, secluded corner of the world, high upon a private hill, sits a mansion that could only be described as a monument to a son's love. The grand structure is a testament to Ethan's success, built to provide his mother, Eleanor, with a life of comfort, peace, and luxury in her golden years. But as the sun sets, casting long shadows over the sprawling estate, the mansion that was meant to be a sanctuary feels more like a gilded cage. The kind of cage that doesn't need iron bars to keep someone locked inside, just a smile from the woman who now stands as the only other occupant of the mansion besides Eleanor, Scarlett, the future daughter-in-law. The woman who wears that smile like a weapon. Eleanor stands at the window of her room, her eyes tracing the contours of the mansion outside. The marble floors beneath her feet feel cold. The walls feel, too, thick with silence, and the luxuries surrounding her only remind her of the life she's been thrust into. It's not a life she asked for. It's not a life she knows how to live. And every detail of it feels foreign. Her hands, worn and weathered by years of hard work, rest on the arm of the chair beside her. These hands built a life for her son. They scrubbed floors, worked long hours, and sacrificed dreams just to see Ethan thrive. She spent years pulling him from the depths of poverty, watching him grow, teaching him how to be strong, to never give up, to always believe in himself. But now, those same hands, once strong with the weight of her love, feel out of place in a house like this. A house where everything shines with wealth and grandeur, but lacks warmth. A house that has become a prison, not of bars, but of expectations. As she looks at the lavish mirror across the room, she notices the burgundy dress that Ethan insisted on buying for her. It hangs from the back of the door, its fabric luxurious, its design elegant. She can feel it mocking her. A costume, not armor. A costume for a role she didn't ask to play. She was never meant for this life. She never wanted diamonds or designer clothes. She wanted to watch her son become a man of substance, not a man of wealth. She wanted him to remember where he came from, to never forget the values she instilled in him. But now, as she stands in this cold, sterile space, the mansion feels more like a mausoleum than a home. The only comfort comes from the silence, except when Scarlett is near. Then, the tension fills every corner of the room. Scarlett, with her calculated kindness, her ever-present smile that hides something darker beneath the surface. Eleanor can't help but wonder what her son sees in Scarlett. She's beautiful, yes. She's everything Ethan could want in a wife. Or at least, that's what the world would see. But beneath the surface, Eleanor senses something else. Scarlett's coldness, her subtle manipulations, the way she sidesteps kindness, replacing it with something else. Control. Eleanor can feel it in the way Scarlett speaks, the way she moves through the house like a queen, while Eleanor is left as a visitor in her own son's life. She doesn't belong here. The mansion, the grandeur, the life she never wanted. It all feels suffocating. The quiet battle for her place in Ethan's heart has only just begun. And as much as she wants to retreat, as much as she wants to run, she can't. Not yet. For him, she will endure it all. It begins in the small, seemingly insignificant ways. The words spoken with the softest tones, the actions that seem harmless at first, until they are repeated again and again, until they take root. Scarlett's control over Eleanor doesn't come in the form of harsh orders or loud demands. No. Scarlett is far more subtle than that. She begins by controlling the little things, the kind of things most people wouldn't notice. But Eleanor does. She feels every shift in the air, every look that drips with hidden meaning. One morning, as Eleanor sits at the breakfast table waiting for her son to join her, Scarlett arrives, her usual grace cloaking the tension between them. Her smile is warm, but Eleanor knows it's a smile made of ice. Scarlett moves to the kitchen, preparing breakfast as though she's the one running the house. A glass of orange juice is set before Eleanor, but as Eleanor reaches for it, Scarlett's voice rings out with an edge of concern that sounds almost patronizing. "You know, Eleanor," Scarlett says, "I think you'd enjoy fresh fruit more than juice. The juice is a bit sugary, don't you think? A woman of your age should watch her sugar intake." Eleanor, surprised by the suggestion, nods silently, setting the glass down. She picks up a fresh apple from the bowl, her fingers trembling slightly as she sinks her teeth into it. The bite is satisfying, but the words sting in ways she can't ignore. Scarlett hovers nearby, watching her every move. There's something in the way she watches, like she's waiting for Eleanor to make a mistake she can pounce on. And when Ethan walks in, Scarlett's mask of warmth slides back into place, but Eleanor feels the coldness of it. The room grows thick with the subtle shift of power. Scarlett's perfect smile doesn't reach her eyes. "Good morning, darling," Scarlett says to Ethan, her voice smooth like honey. She kisses him on the cheek and then turns her gaze to Eleanor. Eleanor tries to greet Ethan, trying to find a way to re-establish the bond they once had. "How was your meeting, dear?" she asks, hoping for a simple conversation, a connection. But before Ethan can answer, Scarlett interrupts. "Oh, don't trouble him with trivialities, Mom," she says, her tone just sharp enough to be noticed. "He's had a long day, and I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about work right now." Eleanor looks down, her heart sinking. She hadn't meant to trouble Ethan. She hadn't meant to interfere. But Scarlett's words hang in the air, and she feels smaller than she did just moments ago. Later that evening, the tension only deepens. It's dinner time. Eleanor, still trying to make herself a part of this new world, stands before her closet, staring at the dress Ethan had bought for her. It's beautiful, undeniably so. A shimmering burgundy fabric that should make her feel like the queen of this house. But instead, it feels like a costume, one she's forced to wear for a role she never asked for. She sighs, slipping into it. The dress hugs her body in a way she isn't used to, the elegance of it feeling more like a prison than a luxury. But she knows she must wear it. Ethan insists, and she can never refuse him. Not now. As she steps into the dining room, she feels the weight of the mansion closing in on her again. It's too grand, too cold. The towering walls echo nothing but silence. And then there's Scarlett, already sitting at the head of the table, her back straight, her smile poised. A queen, commanding the room. Ethan smiles when he sees his mother, but the smile falters as he looks over at Scarlett. "You look fantastic, Mom," he says, his words sincere, but tinged with something else, a reminder that in this space, he is hers to control. Scarlett smiles, but the way her gaze slides over Eleanor's dress isn't lost on her. "Ethan, darling," she says, her voice dripping with sugar. "Your mother looks elegant, but we must remember that the wealth of this family isn't about looking elegant for a day. It's about fitting in. And, well, fitting in doesn't always mean dressing down to make others comfortable." The comment feels like a slap to Eleanor's face. She swallows, her throat tight. She doesn't belong here. As they sit down, Scarlett's smile falters only once. She eyes the soup before them, the first course of the meal. It's a simple dish, humble in comparison to the rest of the meal. "Ethan," she says softly, her eyes narrowing slightly. "Are we really going to serve her this? It's a bit too simple. For a woman of your stature, I would expect something more, well, refined." Ethan, always eager to please, seems caught off guard for a moment. He looks at Eleanor, then back at Scarlett, and nods. "I'm sure we can have something else prepared. I didn't mean for you to feel uncomfortable." Eleanor's heart sinks. Uncomfortable. She isn't even allowed the luxury of eating a meal she's familiar with in this house. The idea of comfort, of simplicity, is completely foreign to the world she now lives in. As the meal progresses, so does the subtle tension. Eleanor feels herself shrinking under Scarlett's steady gaze. Every word out of Scarlett's mouth is a reminder of how small she is in this grand world. Every smile from Ethan, though filled with love, feels like a thin layer of ice, barely holding up under the weight of the atmosphere Scarlett has created. Finally, Scarlett leans forward, taking a delicate sip of wine. "You know," she says with a soft laugh, "this mansion is lovely, but you have to remember, Eleanor, it's not about the size of the house or the richness of the food. It's about fitting in. We all need to fit in with the life we've chosen. Or else—" She lets the sentence hang in the air, her words laced with something much darker than the smile she wears. Eleanor looks down at her plate, feeling her hands tremble. She doesn't belong here. She never will. The cracks in Eleanor's world begin to spread. Subtle at first, small slivers of doubt that slowly tear at the fragile veneer of peace she's desperately trying to maintain. The mansion, once a symbol of her son's love, is now a place where silence is heavy, filled with unspoken judgments and cruel reminders that she doesn't belong. Scarlett's manipulation doesn't come in loud bursts of anger, no. She's more insidious than that. Her control is whispered through casual remarks. Her actions crafted to isolate Eleanor, to make her feel like an outsider in the life her son has created. Every comment from Scarlett is a calculated strike. Every smile hides a barb. As the days go by, Scarlett's tactics become more apparent. She speaks to the staff as though Eleanor isn't there, giving orders in a voice so soft, it seems like kindness. But Eleanor hears the undertone. "Oh, Gloria, could you make sure the guest room is tidied up today? I know we don't want Eleanor feeling uncomfortable in her new space," she'll say with a fake sweetness, as if to remind Eleanor that she's a guest in her own son's home. Scarlett's whispers are sharp and precise, designed to undermine Eleanor's sense of belonging. Ethan was always so particular about his comfort. I'm sure he wouldn't want the house feeling too familiar. We wouldn't want things to feel too lived in, don't you think, Eleanor? The constant references to comfort and fitting in chip away at Eleanor's confidence. She starts to question herself, questioning the choices she made as a mother, wondering where she went wrong. She tries to dismiss these thoughts, but they cling to her, like shadows that follow her every step. It happens one afternoon. Ethan has been away for days, caught up in meetings, and Eleanor can feel the emptiness of the mansion pressing in on her. She sits in the library, her eyes scanning the rows of bookshelves, but her mind is elsewhere. She feels the absence of her son like a physical ache. He's gone, too busy, too preoccupied with his life and his fiancée. He hasn't asked her how she's doing, hasn't noticed the weight of the silence that's grown between them. The door creaks open, and in walks Scarlett, her heels clicking on the floor, her presence immediately filling the room. She glances at Eleanor, her eyes sharp. "Ethan's working late again, I see," she says, her voice dripping with faux sympathy. "It must be so lonely for you, being stuck in this big house with nothing to do." Eleanor looks up, her eyes tired. "I'm fine," she says, but the words feel hollow. She isn't fine, not anymore. Scarlett smiles, her expression cold but calculated. "Of course you are. I'm sure you're used to it by now. The solitude, the quiet." She pauses, watching Eleanor closely as if waiting for a response. It must be hard to accept, though. Watching him grow up, move on with his life. I know it must be a bit difficult for a mother to let go, to accept that he's found someone else to take care of him. Her words, soft as they are, land like a slap. The truth stings. Watching him move on, Eleanor thinks. That's exactly it. Watching him move on. Watching him slip further and further away from her. The son she raised, the son she fought for, and here she is, stuck in this gilded cage, while he's out there, living his life with a woman who controls everything, even the air he breathes. The tension is building. Eleanor's attempts to break free of Scarlett's control become more desperate, but Scarlett is always one step ahead. Her words always poised to make Eleanor feel small and invisible. It's a small moment, but it speaks volumes. One evening, Eleanor decides to speak up, to try and reclaim some piece of herself. She tries to make conversation with Ethan, to show him she's still here, still part of his life. She doesn't want to feel like a ghost in his world. "Ethan," she begins as he settles into his chair, "I was thinking of making your favorite dinner tonight. Remember the roast chicken you used to love? We used to make it together." She says it gently, hoping for a spark of recognition. But before Ethan can respond, Scarlett intervenes, her voice syrupy sweet. "Oh, sweetheart," she says, glancing at Eleanor with a knowing smile. "I think we should leave those old recipes in the past. You've got to try something more sophisticated, something with more flair. We have guests coming over soon." "The chicken can wait." Eleanor's heart sinks. She was hoping for a moment of connection, a reminder of the days when her son wasn't so distant. But once again, Scarlett has dismissed her, not with force, but with a smile that tells Eleanor she doesn't matter. The days grow heavier, the tension thickening. Eleanor begins to notice more and more how Scarlett isolates her, making her feel invisible in the house. Scarlett takes over every conversation, controlling the topics, guiding the discussions, and leaving Eleanor to sit in silence. During dinner one evening, Eleanor tries again to speak, to make herself heard. "Ethan, I was thinking about that trip we took when you were young, to the lake. Do you remember? You loved it there, the fishing, the fresh air." But once again, Scarlett interrupts. "Darling, let's not get lost in the past," she says, her voice sharp. "I think it's time we focus on the present. The future, really. We've got a lot of important things to discuss, like the wedding. And the guests. You know, the ones who matter." Her words are pointed, cold, and Eleanor feels her heart sink lower. The feeling of being out of place becomes overwhelming. Scarlett's words chip away at her, each one making her feel smaller, less significant. Eleanor realizes she's becoming a ghost in her own son's life, a figure of the past that no longer belongs in the present. The tension continues to build until Eleanor can't take it anymore. She has to speak up. She has to push back. One afternoon, as Scarlett prepares for an outing with her friends, she tells Eleanor, "You know, I've been thinking about our situation. Maybe it's time you started acting your age. I mean, these things take time, but I'm sure you'll learn to adjust." Eleanor's voice shakes, but she says it anyway. "I'm not your burden, Scarlett. I'm his mother." Scarlett stops in her tracks, her smile faltering, but only for a second. The mask returns quickly. "Oh, Eleanor," she says, her tone dripping with false affection. "Of course you're not a burden. I just think you need to understand how things work around here." But Eleanor isn't done. She stands a little straighter, the words she's been holding back finally spilling out. "I've raised him, Scarlett," she says, her voice firm. "I gave him everything, and I don't need to adjust to this life. I belong here too." Scarlett's smile slips, her eyes narrowing just slightly. She says nothing, but the message is clear. "You don't belong here. Not really." Eleanor feels the weight of the truth crashing down on her. She may have spoken up, but the damage has been done. Scarlett's control has taken root, and it's only a matter of time before it consumes everything. The tension between Eleanor and Scarlett reaches its breaking point. Eleanor's attempts to find her voice, to reclaim some piece of herself, are constantly stifled. She is pushed to the edge, slowly crumbling under the weight of Scarlett's manipulation, until there's nothing left but the quiet battle that rages within her. The mansion, once a symbol of wealth and love, has become a battleground. Eleanor's heart feels heavy, the walls closing in on her with each passing day. Scarlett's cruelty has reached new heights, and Eleanor knows, deep down, that if she doesn't act now, she will lose everything. The psychological toll of the past few weeks has left Eleanor on the edge. Every moment in the mansion feels like a weight, pushing her down, suffocating her. She's been patient, silent, enduring it all for the sake of her son, hoping he would come to his senses. But the cracks in her composure are beginning to show. It happens one quiet evening, as Eleanor sits by the window, watching the sunset over the sprawling garden. The vibrant colors of the sky seem to mock her isolation. The world outside is alive with beauty, but inside, it feels like she's been swallowed by the cold, empty halls of the mansion. She can hear Scarlett's voice from the other room, speaking in her usual controlled tones, as if she owns every inch of the house. The way she speaks to the staff, to Ethan, to everyone, like she's the one who matters. And Eleanor, the woman who gave birth to Ethan, the one who built this life with her blood, sweat, and tears, is nothing but a guest in her own home. Eleanor feels the anger rising in her chest, burning through her veins. She's been quiet for far too long, swallowing Scarlett's poison without ever letting it show. But now it's different. The breaking point is near. She has to save herself, and she has to save her son. Her mind races, the reality of the situation hitting her with brutal clarity. If she doesn't act now, if she doesn't expose Scarlett for who she truly is, she will lose everything. Ethan will never see through the lies. She'll be pushed out of his life forever, and Scarlett will have her claws buried deep, controlling everything, including Ethan's heart. Eleanor rises from her chair, the resolve in her step stronger than it has been in weeks. She knows what she has to do. The truth will come out, and she will be the one to make sure it does. It doesn't take long for the confrontation to come. Later that evening, as the house settles into the quiet of night, Eleanor walks down the long hallway, moving toward the kitchen. She needs a moment alone, away from the suffocating presence of Scarlett. But as she turns the corner, there she is. Scarlett stands at the end of the hallway, her posture perfect, her eyes cold and calculating. She watches Eleanor approach, a smile playing on her lips, a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "Eleanor," Scarlett says, her voice dripping with condescension. "I've been looking for you." Eleanor stops, her heart hammering in her chest. "What is it, Scarlett?" Scarlett steps forward, her heels clicking against the polished floors. "You know," she says, her voice low and almost playful, "I'm really starting to get tired of playing nice." Eleanor feels a knot tighten in her stomach. She's seen this side of Scarlett before. Calm, collected, but with an edge that promises violence. "What do you mean?" Eleanor asks, her voice steady, though her hands tremble slightly. Scarlett steps closer, her presence overwhelming. "You've been a burden, Eleanor. A constant burden. You think Ethan doesn't see it? The way you've been clinging to him, trying to make him feel sorry for you. It's pathetic." Eleanor's breath catches in her throat. Her son, her beloved son, has been so blind to the manipulation, the cruelty. Scarlett's words strike like daggers. each one carving deeper into Eleanor's heart. "I'm not going anywhere, Scarlett," Eleanor says, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and fury. "You can't control me." Scarlett laughs, the sound cold and cruel. "You think you have a choice in this? You're nothing, Eleanor, nothing but a memory, a relic of the past. And Ethan, he's mine. I'll make sure of it." And with that, the control Scarlett has been exercising over Eleanor for so long snaps. She lunges forward, grabbing Eleanor by the arm and yanking her down the hallway. The force of the pull is unexpected, and Eleanor stumbles, her heart racing in panic. "Let go of me," Eleanor shouts, her voice breaking. But Scarlett's grip tightens, her nails digging into Eleanor's skin. "You'll never understand, will you? You'll never understand that I'm in control now. Not you. Not anymore." Eleanor struggles, but the strength of Scarlett's grip is overpowering. And then, without warning, Scarlett shoves her into the wall with a force that sends pain shooting through Eleanor's shoulder. She gasps but doesn't cry out. Scarlett leans in, her face inches from Eleanor's. "You should have known better, Eleanor. You should have stayed out of my way." Eleanor, trembling, looks up at Scarlett, but there's something in her eyes now, something fierce. She's no longer the helpless woman she once was. No, she's something more now, something unbreakable. "I'm not afraid of you," Eleanor says, her voice filled with an unwavering strength. The violence of the confrontation shocks Eleanor to her core, but something else begins to shift within her. She knows now that Scarlett is capable of anything: physical violence, psychological manipulation, and deceit. But what Scarlett doesn't know is that Eleanor has been planning her next move. That night, while Scarlett sleeps, Eleanor sneaks into the room where her son's laptop lies. She carefully sets up her phone, the voice recorder app activated. She's already seen the way Scarlett works, how she manipulates, how she twists the truth to suit her needs. And now Eleanor will gather the evidence she needs to expose her. Scarlett's voice echoes from the other room. Eleanor takes a deep breath, moving toward the door, carefully positioning her phone to catch every word. Scarlett speaks to someone on the phone, her voice cold and calculating. "You know, I've been thinking about our little situation," she says, her tone dripping with false sweetness. "Eleanor's getting in the way. She's a reminder of a past we need to forget. I can't have her here anymore. I'm going to get rid of her. Maybe I'll send her off to one of those retirement homes in the middle of nowhere. No one will ever find her." Eleanor's heart pounds in her chest. The truth hits her like a slap in the face. This is it. Scarlett's true intentions have been revealed, Scarlett continues, her voice full of venom. "I'll tell Ethan it's for her own good. He'll never suspect a thing. Once she's gone, I'll have him all to myself. The life we deserve. I'll make sure she's never a problem again." Eleanor's hand shakes as she presses stop on the recorder. The evidence is there. The truth is finally within her grasp. This is the moment she's been waiting for. The moment when she can stop being the silent victim and start fighting back. The mansion that once seemed so grand now feels like a battleground. And Eleanor, standing at the precipice of her greatest challenge, feels the weight of the truth crashing down on her. She has the evidence. She has the power to expose Scarlett for the manipulator she is. But with that power comes the risk of losing everything she holds dear. Eleanor takes a deep breath, her heart steady now, knowing she has no choice but to act. To fight for the son she raised and the future she deserves. The storm is coming, and Eleanor is ready. The walls of the mansion seem to close in tighter with each passing day. Eleanor, silently suffering in the background, watches as Ethan remains blissfully unaware of the manipulation playing out in front of him. His love for Scarlett blinds him, and he cannot see the truth of what is happening within his own home. Ethan continues to walk through his days, immersed in the pressures of his career, while Scarlett weaves her web of lies and control around him. Every time Eleanor tries to speak out, to shed light on the darkness Scarlett has brought into their lives, she's met with resistance. Ethan listens to Scarlett's soothing words, believing them to be the truth. He sees the woman he loves as nothing but kind and caring, unable to recognize the cruelty she so expertly hides beneath her calm exterior. It's a game to Scarlett. She knows how to manipulate every situation, every glance, every word. And Ethan, like a marionette in her hands, dances to her tune. One morning, as Eleanor stands in the kitchen, preparing a simple breakfast for herself, she overhears a conversation between Ethan and Scarlett in the next room. Their voices are muffled, but Eleanor can hear the strain in Ethan's voice as he tries to reason with Scarlett. "I just don't get it, Scarlett. Why does Mom keep acting like this? She's so distant lately." Scarlett's voice comes smooth and practiced, like a balm designed to soothe and control. "Ethan, darling, you know how she is. She's just getting old, a little forgetful. She's probably lonely too. It's not easy for someone like her to adjust to this lifestyle." Eleanor winces at the words, the sting of Scarlett's lies cutting through her. She wants to speak up, to correct the record, but she knows it would be futile. Ethan would never believe her. Not yet. Scarlett continues, her tone full of feigned concern. "I just don't know what more I can do for her. I try to be nice, I really do. But she's so resistant. It's like she's pushing me away on purpose. I don't want to feel like I'm intruding, but I can't help it, Ethan. It's hard to be around someone who doesn't appreciate everything you're trying to do for them." Eleanor stands frozen, her hands gripping the edge of the counter as her heart shatters with each word. She knows the truth. But Ethan? He doesn't see it. He hears only what Scarlett wants him to hear. He's blind to the manipulation, the cruelty. The conversation continues as Scarlett plays the victim, painting Eleanor as a burden, someone who needs constant coddling and care. And Ethan, his face full of concern for Scarlett, buys it completely. He doesn't know his mother is the one who's been suffering all along. He doesn't know that Scarlett has slowly been poisoning his view of her, turning him against the one person who truly loves him. Scarlett's control over Ethan continues to tighten, and she makes sure to keep Eleanor at arm's length. With every word, every action, she secures her position in the household. The staff, too, are affected by her growing power. They watch the tension between the women, but they remain silent, knowing that speaking out could cost them their jobs. One afternoon, Eleanor tries to sit down at the table with Ethan. She wants to have a conversation, to remind him of their bond, the way they used to talk about anything and everything. But before she can get a word out, Scarlett swoops in, her presence like a hawk descending on her prey. "Oh, darling," Scarlett says, her voice honey-sweet. "Don't you think it's a bit early for Mom to be up? She should be resting. Don't you think?" Eleanor feels the sting of Scarlett's words, but she remains silent, swallowing her frustration. She looks at Ethan, hoping for a sign, hoping that he'll see through the act. But he only nods in agreement with Scarlett, his eyes distant. "I know. I thought I could spend some time with Ethan, just the two of us. You know, like we used to," Eleanor says, trying to sound calm, trying to make him see that she isn't the one who has been pushing away. Scarlett steps forward, her eyes narrowing just slightly. "Oh, sweetheart, I know you're lonely. But maybe it's time to face the facts. Ethan is busy. He's got his life now. He's got me. It's just how it is." She speaks as if it's a simple truth, as if it were as natural as breathing, and Ethan doesn't seem to notice. He's already distracted by his phone, scrolling through messages, his attention nowhere near the woman who raised him. Eleanor's heart sinks. It's like a knife twisting deeper with each word Scarlett says. She's isolating her, pushing her further into the shadows, and Ethan is none the wiser. The power that Scarlett holds over him is undeniable. Days pass, each one feeling more suffocating than the last. Eleanor feels like she's living in a world of shadows, her presence barely acknowledged. She moves through the house like a ghost, silent and invisible. But then one evening, a small, quiet moment changes everything. Eleanor's phone buzzes on the counter. She picks it up, and there it is. The recording. The one she made. The one that holds Scarlett's true intentions. Her words of manipulation and malice. It's a small file, but it holds all the power. Eleanor hesitates. This is the moment she's been waiting for. The moment when the truth will finally come to light. But the fear is overwhelming. What will Ethan do when he hears this? Will he believe her? Or will he continue to side with the woman who has taken over his life? She takes a deep breath, presses play, and listens. "I'm going to get rid of her, Ethan's mother," Scarlett's voice says clearly, cruelly. "She's a burden, and I can't have her here anymore. I'll make sure she's gone. I'll tell Ethan it's for her own good, that it's what she needs. But really, she's just a reminder of his past. And I can't have that. I need him for myself. We're going to have everything together, just the two of us." Eleanor feels the blood drain from her face. The words hit her like a ton of bricks. This is the woman who's been controlling everything. The woman who's been driving a wedge between her and her son. And then it hits her even harder. Ethan doesn't know any of this. He's been living in the lies, in the fantasy that Scarlett has spun around him. Eleanor's heart is racing as she stops the recording. She knows what she must do. But the weight of the decision presses down on her chest, threatening to crush her. She can't keep living in the shadows. She can't let Scarlett continue to destroy everything she's worked for. The silence that follows the recording is deafening. Eleanor, with trembling hands, stands at the edge of her world, ready to bring the truth into the light. She knows what it will cost her. But she also knows this is the only chance she has to save herself, and to save her son. She takes a deep breath, her resolve hardening. This is it. There's no turning back now. The truth will come crashing down. And when it does, everything will change. The truth can never stay hidden forever. And in that moment, the world that Scarlett had carefully crafted begins to crumble. The mansion, once a symbol of wealth and love, now stands as a monument to betrayal. Ethan's heart is shattered, his trust in the woman he loved broken beyond repair. The confrontation that will change everything is at hand. It's early evening, the sun casting long shadows over the mansion. Ethan walks through the halls, his mind racing. He can't shake the feeling that something is wrong. He's noticed the distance between him and his mother growing, the tension between her and Scarlett becoming unbearable. And now, he holds the recording in his hand, the one Eleanor had carefully hidden, the one that holds the key to everything. As he steps into the living room, his eyes meet Scarlett's. She's sitting on the couch, as poised and calm as ever, unaware of the storm that's about to hit. The recording buzzes in his pocket, the weight of it a constant reminder of the truth he's about to face. He pulls it out, his hands shaking slightly. "Scarlett," he says, his voice low but filled with an edge of determination. "We need to talk." Scarlett looks up, her eyes narrowing with a hint of curiosity. "What is it, darling?" she asks, her voice smooth like butter. But the calmness doesn't fool Ethan anymore. He's seen her for what she truly is. And now, he's ready to confront her. "I've heard something," he says, his voice steady. something I should have heard a long time ago. Without warning, he presses play on the recording. Scarlett's voice fills the room, clear and unmistakable. "I'm going to get rid of her, Ethan's mother." Her words cut through the air like a dagger. "She's a burden, and I can't have her here anymore. I'll make sure she's gone." Ethan's heart stops. His breath catches in his throat. He listens as Scarlett's words spill out, revealing everything. Her manipulation, her lies, her cold-hearted plan to remove his mother from his life. "I'll tell Ethan it's for her own good, that it's what she needs. But really, she's just a reminder of his past, and I can't have that. I need him for myself." Ethan's face pales as he listens to the woman he trusted tear apart his family, and the truth hits him like a wave. Scarlett's facade crumbles with each word, and Ethan's world shatters before his eyes. He stops the recording, his hands trembling as the weight of the betrayal sinks in. "How could you?" he says, his voice barely above a whisper. Scarlett looks at him, her composure slipping for the first time. "Ethan, darling," she begins, her voice laced with panic. "It's not what it sounds like. You have to understand. I've been trying to protect you from her, from your mother. She's been controlling everything, trying to hold on to you, to make you think you still need her. I was just trying to make things right for us, for our future." Ethan's eyes widen in disbelief. "Protect me? By lying to me? By manipulating me into thinking my mother is the problem?" Scarlett's eyes flicker with guilt, but she quickly tries to recover, her voice becoming more desperate. "No, Ethan, please. You don't understand. She's been keeping you from me. She's trying to hold on to a past that doesn't exist anymore. She's trying to keep you in that small world. And I can't let her do that to us." But Ethan's heart has already broken. The lies, the manipulation, they're all too much to ignore now. The woman he thought he loved, the woman he believed was caring and kind, is nothing but a manipulative, selfish woman who has torn his family apart. Ethan steps back, his hands shaking with the weight of the truth. The pain in his chest is overwhelming, but the anger quickly follows. How could he have been so blind? How could he have let her control everything, let her poison his relationship with his mother? "I can't believe this," he says, his voice trembling with emotion. "I trusted you. I loved you, and you've been using me the whole time." Scarlett stands up, her expression shifting from panic to something darker. "Ethan, please listen to me," she pleads. "I did it all for us, for our future. I'm the one who's been here for you. I'm the one who's been by your side while your mother has been tearing us apart. Don't you see that? She's nothing. She doesn't belong here." Ethan's eyes burn with fury as he finally sees Scarlett for who she really is. She's not the woman he thought she was. She's a master manipulator, a woman who has been playing him for months, using him to get what she wants. "No, Scarlett," he says, his voice firm. "You're the one who doesn't belong here. You've torn this family apart. You've lied, you've manipulated, and you've used me. I can't be with someone like you." The room falls silent as Scarlett's face twists with shock and disbelief. She's been defeated, her lies exposed, and there's no escaping the truth now. Ethan turns to Eleanor, his mother, the woman he's neglected, the woman he's allowed to be hurt. He looks at her, his eyes filled with remorse. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I didn't see it. I didn't see what she was doing to you. I failed you." Eleanor, standing strong, her eyes filled with pain but also pride, steps forward. She places a hand on his arm, her voice steady and calm. "It's not too late, Ethan," she says, her voice filled with love. "You've seen the truth now. You have a choice. Don't let her control you anymore." Ethan looks at his mother, and for the first time in a long while, he sees her, really sees her. The love in her eyes, the sacrifice she's made for him, it all becomes crystal clear. She's always been there for him. And now, he will be there for her. Eleanor stands tall, her back straight, her hands steady at her sides. She's been through so much, her son's neglect, Scarlett's cruelty, but she refuses to be broken. This moment, this confrontation, is her moment of redemption. She has always loved Ethan, always fought for him. And now she will fight for herself. She turns to face Scarlett one last time. "You've manipulated him long enough," she says, her voice unwavering. "You've tried to tear us apart, but you won't succeed. I won't let you." Scarlett sneers at her, but Eleanor stands her ground. She's no longer the timid woman who was afraid to speak up. She's a mother, a fighter, and no one, not even Scarlett, will take that away from her. Ethan, his heart full of regret, looks at his mother. "You're right, Mom. I've let this go on for too long. It ends now." He turns to Scarlett, his eyes hardening with anger. "You need to leave. Now. I don't want you in my life anymore. You're done. I see you for what you truly are." Scarlett stares at him in shock, her world crumbling around her. "Ethan, you can't do this! You can't just throw me away. I've done everything for you." But Ethan, with the strength of his mother's love behind him, shakes his head. "No, it's over. Get out, now." Scarlett's face contorts in rage, but there's nothing left for her here. She knows she's lost. With one final glare, she storms out of the room, her presence no longer a threat to their family. In the quiet that follows, the storm subsides. Ethan stands beside his mother, their bond stronger than it's ever been. Scarlett's reign of control is over, and now they can rebuild. Eleanor's strength, her love, and her unwavering determination have brought them both back from the edge. Together, they face a new beginning, a future built on truth, love, and the unbreakable bond between mother and son. The mansion that once echoed with tension now feels strangely calm. The storm has passed, and the silence that fills the air is not one of fear or uncertainty, but of healing, a quiet space where truth can breathe and bonds can be mended. Ethan stands at the edge of the living room, his eyes still raw with emotion, the weight of everything he's learned pressing down on him. He looks at his mother, the woman he has hurt, the one who has always been there, quietly supporting him, loving him, even when he was blind to the truth. His voice cracks as he speaks. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I should have seen it. I should have listened to you." Eleanor stands before him, her eyes filled with a mixture of pain and understanding. She knows the truth. Ethan didn't see it before, but now he does. And that's all that matters. "You were blinded, Ethan," she says softly, her voice filled with a quiet strength. "I don't blame you for not seeing it sooner. But now you see the truth. That's what matters." Ethan steps forward, his voice breaking as he reaches for her. "I failed you, Mom. I let her poison my mind and I hurt you. I didn't protect you. I'm so sorry." Eleanor feels a tightness in her chest as her son stands before her, his heart open, vulnerable. She places her hands on his shoulders, her voice steady. "We've both been hurt, Ethan, but we're here now together. That's what matters. We'll heal." Ethan pulls her into an embrace, and for the first time in what feels like forever, the weight of everything lifts. There is no more space between them, no more distance, just love. Just the bond that has always been there, now strengthened by the truth. But as the love between mother and son grows, Scarlett's presence in the house is no longer tolerated. Ethan's eyes have been opened, and he knows now what he must do. He won't let the woman who tried to tear them apart have any further place in their lives. "Mom," Ethan says, pulling away from the embrace and meeting his mother's eyes. "We're done." She's done. Scarlett's not welcome here anymore. Eleanor's heart flutters at his words. The moment of truth has arrived. The woman who has caused so much pain, who has manipulated her son and poisoned their relationship, will no longer have power over them. As if on cue, Scarlett storms into the room, her face twisted in anger and disbelief. "What is this? What are you two doing?" she snaps, her tone sharp and defensive. "I've done everything for you, Ethan. I've been loyal. I've helped you build everything." But Ethan stands tall, his voice unwavering. "No, Scarlett. You've destroyed everything. You've manipulated me, used me, and turned me against my own mother. You don't belong here." Scarlett's eyes widen in shock. "What are you saying?" "You can't do this to me. I've given you everything, everything." Ethan's face hardens as the truth finally cuts through the fog of his past. "You gave me nothing, Scarlett. You took from me, from my family, and now you're out." Scarlett tries to protest, to plead, but her words fall on deaf ears. "You don't get it, do you?" Ethan continues, his voice cold and decisive. "You've lost. You don't have any power over me anymore." With that, Ethan turns to the staff, his voice firm. "Make sure she leaves, now. She has no access to anything here. No money, no ties to this family. She's out." Scarlett stands frozen for a moment, her face pale with rage and disbelief. But there's nothing left for her here. The power she once held, the control she had so carefully manipulated, is gone. She is nothing now but a stranger in a house that no longer belongs to her. With a final venomous glare, she turns and walks toward the door. "You'll regret this," she spits, her words sharp as she walks out of their lives for good. As the door closes behind her, a sense of peace settles over the house. The toxic presence that had lingered for so long is gone, and in its place is a new beginning, a chance to rebuild, to heal. Eleanor watches as Scarlett's departure signals the end of an era of pain, manipulation, and lies. But she is no longer the victim. She is no longer the woman who had to silently endure. She stands tall now, her strength, her love, and her resilience all shining through. Though bruised and battered by the emotional toll, Eleanor has come out of this stronger than ever. She knows that nothing in this world can break her when she has the love of her son. Nothing can tear apart the bond they share. Ethan looks at her, his eyes filled with gratitude and love. "You did it, Mom. You saved us." Eleanor smiles softly, her heart swelling with pride. "We saved each other, Ethan. We're in this together." Together, they walk through the halls of the mansion, the silence now filled with the sounds of a new chapter being written. The past is behind them, and ahead lies a future where love, trust, and respect are the foundation. As the days pass, the mansion that once felt cold and oppressive begins to feel like home again. The laughter of mother and son fills the air, and the weight of the past slowly fades away. There are still wounds to heal, scars to mend, but together they are stronger. Together they can face whatever comes their way. Eleanor finds peace in the truth. She no longer has to hide in the shadows. She reclaims her place in Ethan's life, and they rebuild what was broken, and for the first time in a long while she can breathe again. Time passes, and the mansion that once felt like a gilded prison has transformed. The cold, empty halls that once echoed with tension now carry the warmth of laughter. The sounds of two hearts finally healing together. Ethan and Eleanor, their bond stronger than ever, have rebuilt their lives from the rubble of lies and manipulation. The mansion, which once stood as a symbol of wealth and control, now stands as a home, a sanctuary filled with love, understanding, and the quiet peace that comes only after the storm. Ethan and Eleanor sit side by side at the kitchen table, a simple meal before them. It's a far cry from the lavish but empty dinners they once shared in silence. Now the air is filled with conversation, real, honest conversation. They laugh about old memories, talk about the future, and share their dreams once more. There's a calmness in their eyes now, a peace that comes from the truth. The emotional scars left by Scarlett's manipulation are still there, But they are no longer the chains that held them captive. They've learned together how to heal, and every day brings them closer to the family they were always meant to be. The mansion, once a place of fear and uncertainty, has become a place of refuge. The walls that once seemed to close in on them now feel like a warm embrace. No longer do they hide from the truth or live in the shadow of lies. The truth has set them free, and together, they have found their way back to each other. Eleanor's journey has been long, and at times, heartbreaking. But through it all, one thing has remained unshaken: her love for her son. A mother's love is unbreakable, unwavering, no matter the trials, no matter the pain. It is the one thing that cannot be destroyed by manipulation or deceit. It is a force stronger than any obstacle life throws in her path. In the end, Eleanor's strength wasn't just in enduring the pain. It was in standing up for herself. It was in refusing to let someone take away her voice, her worth, or her love for her son. Her resilience was a shield against the manipulation that tried to tear her apart. And through it all, she kept fighting. Fighting for the truth, fighting for Ethan, and fighting for herself. The lesson she's learned, and the one she shares with her son now, is simple but powerful. Never allow anyone to make you feel small. No matter the lies or the manipulation, the truth has a way of rising to the surface, and when it does, it can heal even the deepest wounds. Eleanor's journey is a testament to the power of truth. She didn't just endure the storm, she weathered it with courage. And through it, she taught her son the most important lesson of all: that love, true love, requires honesty, trust, and respect. And sometimes the hardest battles are the ones that lead to the greatest victories. As the sun sets behind the mansion, casting golden light over the garden, Eleanor and Ethan sit together on the porch side by side. The past is behind them now, and the future is full of promise. Their hearts are healed, their bond restored, and they know, no matter what challenges the world may bring, they will face them together, stronger than before, and unshaken by anything that tries to tear them apart. The story of Eleanor and Ethan is a story of resilience, of love, and of the incredible strength that lies within every mother. It's a reminder that no matter how dark the path may seem, the truth will always light the way, and with that truth, nothing can stand in the way of love.